Welcome on in to the 411 podcast. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You do a great job of interviewing your guests, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, young Amori. So I'm getting ready to get on into it, but I got to stop because I appreciate the love and support out there. Y'all go ahead and support young Amori. He's on Instagram, does a great job, does a phenomenal job, does a wonderful job of preserving music, the hip hop, R&B culture. He definitely does his thing. So please go ahead and support young Amari. If you have a hard time finding him, just go ahead and head on over to my page, and he has liked and commented on a couple things. But I'm gonna give you his social media handle name. That's Young Man Amari, Mare. So look up Young Man Amori on Instagram, and you're gonna see all of the posts, all of the, like I said, preserving hip hop, R&B culture. Definitely check them out. So you take a lot of time doing that, so we definitely have to go ahead and give credit where credit is due. And shout out to Young Amori for just representing the hip hop culture, especially, from what I see here on social media. I don't think I've seen any page like it, honestly. And I was captivated from day one, and I take that back to 2020. So here we are, 3 years strong, and pages that I like when it comes to keeping me updated as far as anniversaries and stuff like that. Speaking of anniversary, the Queen of Hip Hop Soul. It's been some years since she released Growing Pains album. So, did you hook up the Queen with the Growing Pains anniversary? Y'all know Growing Pains album, Just Fine. Work that. I'm just saying. What's going on, Bethany? How you doing? So, listen, I want to say welcome on into the 411 podcast. We have a great show tonight. We have recording artists, self-made, self-made EST, and yes, I will say that the Growing Pains album is an amazing body of work, and that I agree with you on that. That's coming off of the Breakthrough album, which was basically what the title is. It was a complete breakthrough for Mary J. Blige, for her to excel even more, because we knew that she was that and everything else from the My Life album. We knew it from What's the 411 album. Share My World was just another extension of all of that. And with the Mary album, that was a whole nother situation. I think that was an album just for the fans, for the true diehard Mary J. Blige fans. I think those are the individuals who truly understood the Mary album. But she gave y'all some dope remixes too. For the people who didn't understand, you got dope remixes. You got Sincerity featuring Nas and DMX. See, this getting ready to go into a whole nother conversation. Thanks to you. But the breakthrough, of course, did what it did. Um, Before that, it was No More Drama. And that was like, Mary just. It seems like every single time she came out, it continuously just built up this momentum. And the Breakthrough album was basically, if you didn't think that Mary J. Blige was a household name with Family Affair, if you didn't think that Mary J. Blige became a household name with Family Affair because that was on country radio music, it was everywhere, she definitely let you know on a Breakthrough album, because that was basically it. Like, if you thought that I was playing during No More Drama, I know that the Love and Life album came after that, and that was, again, that was like another gem for the true diehard Mary J. Blige fans that wanted to see Mary and Diddy get back together. But not a lot of people was feeling the Love and Life album, and it was okay, that certain people weren't feeling it. But she had something for you with that Breakthrough album. And then after the Breakthrough album, it was like The Growing Pains was just another extension of it. Like the production of it, the quality of it. Like you said, no skips on a breakthrough album. You can get through the Growing Pains too, and I'm not talking about diehard fans like me. People who are just picking up the Growing Pains album, people who are just picking up the breakthrough album, and it just flows and just flows in the way. I just love the production behind it. I love how you just gliding in and out of that whole album. So anyway, we gonna speak music tonight anyway. So just to let you know, we have recording artist SelfMade EST in the building tonight. But before we go ahead and do this, I have to give a very special thank you to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and continuously do the 411 podcast night after night after night, reading between the lines, show after show after show. Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate you out there on Twitter, or X, as you would say. If you can please go ahead and like, comment, share. Anybody who's coming from any different direction, because it comes in different phases and different levels. So, D Live was in the building the other night. Now I see we have X tonight. Thank you so much to anybody who's come through and check out the 411 podcast of Reading Between the Wines. As a reminder, I'm streaming live every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from now until the end of the month. So come get all of this. Come get all of this inspiration. Get this healing. Let's collaborate together. You get to listen to my wonderful guests that come through. Like I said, tonight we have recording artist SelfMade EST. But again, I cannot do any of this without each and every one of you out there supporting and checking and liking and commenting and sharing and replaying these videos. I definitely do appreciate you. And what's going on? SOS Burning Sky. She says, hey, sweet lips. I'm in my PJs under the covers. That's what's up. Listen, I know that your weather is a hell of a lot better than what I got going on here in Jersey, but we had just got hit with a whole bunch of rain and it was crazy. But I will say that after the rain, the temperature did go up a little bit, but it is what it is. Still not where I like it to be. I think we're going to be somewhere in the 40s, 50s, whatever. Still, in any case. Welcome into the 411 podcast. Thank you so much to all of the love out there. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to have a great show tonight. We're talking about Miracle Expectations, track 15. So Miracle Expectations for me is, what do you want to see show up in your world today? What do you expect to show up in your world today? As a man thinketh, so is he. So, we getting ready to go down this journey here. And what better way than to speak about the Clark sisters? I already knew about the Clark sisters, but I really didn't dig deep into the Clark sisters until the pandemic, to when we were actually locked down and the whole movie came out, and I had some time to sit down and do some research on them. Because listen, I didn't grow up in the church. I grew up in music. So I grew up in, R&B, and then that transcended into hip hop and, the hip hop soul aspect of it. That was my coming up. I love, I do love hip hop music, but I learned a lot about life and a lot of the journey that life takes you through, getting with some of these artists like that, shared their story, wrote these records. So, I grew up on Anita Baker. Shout out to my sister for introducing me to Anita Baker, Phyllis Hyman, Sade, take it back to the 70s, James Brown. I know he goes back further than that, but I'm talking about when I first picked up music, because I'm an 80s baby. Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Bobby Womack. So I didn't grow up in the church, so I didn't know too much about the Clark sisters and gospel music and all of that stuff. I learned a lot of it from, the R&B side of it. And then there's people such as my girl, Mary J. Blige, who spoke a little bit, on my life, spoke a little bit on Share My World, and put that, seed in. And that's why I say, all different types of music, it doesn't matter what genre you come from, as long as you're speaking and you singing something real, you'll be able to touch and you'll be able to heal and you'll be able to lend out that branch for someone to hold on to get to the next level, to get to other genres of music. And listen, from hip hop, R&B, from the 90s, when I was really into it, I transcended into rock and roll, country, gospel, so many different other genres of music. So it's a starting point. But the Clark sisters, I'm going to take it back there. Um, Miracle remix. There's original version and there's the remix version. The original version is good. I love it. But that remix, for somebody like me, like I just spoke about, that hip hop that need that little beat, that need that little hump. And I love that about gospel music. So many people, they say a lot about it because, they think you're doing too much of this, but it's that message that you get and it's what you do with that message. And the message that I got off of Miracle Expectation from 1994 off the Miracle album is that that's basically it. I expect. You hear the Clark sisters say it over and over again. I expect a miracle. I expect a miracle. And that's exactly what it is. Miracle expectations, the things that you expect over your life. You have to speak positive things into your world in order for them to show up in reality. You understand what I'm saying? Let me look at some of these comments here. The music is still timeless. And this is from Young Amari. Soul music is forever. Yeah, soul music, it gets deep down in your soul. Many black music genres connect to each other, and that's the beauty of music. It all links together. So, as we link this all together here when it comes to these miracle expectations, what are the things that you are speaking over your world? What are the things that you are speaking, to show up in your world? Like I said, the Clark sisters say, I expect a miracle. The sky is the limit. Now, this is, and speaking of all links together, shout out to Young Amari for that. The Clark sisters are speaking about, I expect a miracle, and the sky is the limit to what I can have. And we speaking about this in a gospel genre. But then on the other side, on the flip side, you have hip hop, straight up hip hop. You have the Notorious B.I.G. featuring 112, and they're singing that the sky is the limit. Still giving a positive message, still uplifting people, still getting people to think in a different aspect. That's the beauty of music for me. There is a message in the music. As long as you're singing something real and you're trying to connect people and you're trying to heal people, that's what it's about for me. So, like I said, I didn't grow up in a church. I grew up in music, and that's just it for me. Miracle expectations. What are you thinking about? What are you speaking about? What you put in is what you get out. And that's just it. Very simple. What you put in is what you get out. Let me check out this comment here. But the sky is not the limit. Really? So you say the sky is not the limit. Tell me about that. Because again, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm giving you where I'm coming from. But if you say that the sky is not the limit, elaborate on that. Let us know. I'm talking about miracle expectations tonight. Basically, thinking, speaking positive, wonderful, beautiful, amazing thoughts about your world. Because listen, if you don't, somebody else will. So, and that somebody else may not be speaking wonderful, beautiful, positive, amazing things about your life. So be very careful, because you can have what you want if you believe. Now, that's believing in what you feel deep down in your soul. I spoke yesterday about soul agenda, getting with SOLE so you can discover and get deep down inside and know what your true soul agenda is, your soul purpose is. But listen, all too often, we forget who we are. And because we forget who we are, People around us don't know who we are either. So because they don't know who we are, they're like, listen, I got to teach you something. I got to show you something. I got to mold you into something because apparently you don't know who you are. So I'm going to go ahead and make you up to be what I think you should be. And sometimes that comes from friends. Sometimes that comes from family members. Sometimes that comes from people on our job, our bosses. Okay. Sometimes it comes from teachers and professors and, you know, all of that great stuff. All of the people that we interact with on a day to day basis. If you don't know who you are, they're not going to know who you are. And then half the time we end up taking on these forms, starring in these movies that are not us. See, when you know who you are, you know who's directing your movie, and then you are the star in that movie. You ain't a co star. You ain't, making a cameo appearance in somebody else's movie. When you know who you are, everybody else around you will know who you are. And speaking from experience, there were some times in my life when I did not know who I was. Majority of my life, I did not know who I was. It seems like once the pandemic happened and everything got shut down, and I had no choice but to get with self because there was that intuition, there was that spirit that was speaking on the inside saying, this ain't right. The way you living is incorrect. And you keep on living this way because I got something for you. And trust and believe, that's something for me. And that's not in a negative way, even though some negative things came out of it, but there was beauty behind it. So when it comes to life in general, and I know I'm just going in right now, sometimes all of the crisis and all of the mess and all of the drama, we have to sit back sometimes and look at the beauty in it and ask ourselves, what am I supposed to learn in this situation? This is an outright mess. This whole situation, this whole relationship, this whole job, this whole, marriage, this whole whatever it is, it's just an outright mess. But before I start sitting in here pointing fingers and getting crazy and going in, what am I supposed to learn out of this? And that's it. Let me check these comments here. Okay, so back to the sky's the limit. I know we all over the place tonight, but that's cool. That's fine. The sky's not the limit. Okay, so what we got here then? So SOS says, Burning Sky says, the sky is open all over. Where's the limit? You know what? And that's what I'm talking about. Because the sky is open all over, which means that there is no limit, right? So that means we can continue to do and excel and go and grow into anything that we want to. There's endless possibilities. So absolutely. So when you said the sky is not the limit, that's exactly it. Young Amari says, I appreciate your words of wisdom. Thank you so much. Listen here. I wasn't always this way. I didn't get to this point. That's why I have no choice but to come out here and give thanks to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to have a better mindset, a healthier mindset, a transformative mindset, because without him, none of this would be possible. I was everything else but what y'all see here tonight. Every single thing else. And I'm not even going to get into it because I do a great job of explaining what I used to be. But the fact is, shout out to the Bronx, New York. Thank you so much to my mentor who says, you know what? When you know better, you do better. So the fact that I know better, I am doing better. And the fact that today I'm doing better, that's all that matters. So what we did yesterday, what we did last year, what we did 6 months ago, it doesn't even matter. The fact that we actually on a new choosing something better, then that's what that is. So we have recording artist SelfMade EST coming in tonight. We're speaking about miracle expectations, and it starts with the things that you speak and think. Like I said, as a man thinketh, so is he. I will tell you, I used to think so negative. I used to think so down, and all of that stuff came into my world until I had to get with myself and say, listen, look at all of this mess that I created. Look at all of this hell that I created. Ain't nobody do this but me. So what am I going to do to get myself up out of it? And I thought myself into what y'all are seeing here today, which is the 4-in-1 podcast. thought myself, because before any of this becomes reality, we have to think it first. All of this, every single last piece of what's going on in my world here today, because I live in my own world. You live in your own world. SOS, you have your own world. Young Amari, you have your own world out there. Laren has his own world. And that's what it's about. And see, the problem is, and where we get it mixed up is, once we start to live in our own world, we start to really feel ourselves, right? We start to, experience the beautiful things that, you know, the universe wants to give us, God wants to give us, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's us living in our purpose. Here's the problem. Because I can think back of so many times where I was up because I was living in my own world. But then I became down because just because I'm living in my world does not mean that somebody else gets to live in my world. See, we can't pull people into our worlds. We can't pull people into doing the same things that we do and expecting them to show up and perform in our world the way that we want them to perform. It just doesn't work that way. And over this past weekend, I had another profound moment where it was like that aha moment when I realized that as I'm continuously climbing up now, because I'm focusing on me and I'm living in my own world, which is something that I encourage each and every one of you to do out there. But then I think back of the times where we hit that roller coaster hump and we went down. And that's because, you know what? You can't take everybody with you. You can't pull people into your world who are just not on the same level. Someone's vibrating on a lower level and you're on a higher level. It's not going to work that way, and vice versa, because I don't want to sit here and act like we up here, we all the way up. you know just last week, I was operating in a lower world. It happens just like that. The minute that you think that you are all that, the minute that you think that you are on top, the minute that you think that you are better than somebody else, life will come and knock you down, and next thing you know, you're going to wake up living in a lower world. So you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on doing the right things to maintain you know that state of nirvana, as they say. I have no idea who I'm speaking to tonight. I have no idea. But listen, there's going to be some sort of breakthrough somewhere. And as long as it's just one person that's rocking with me, that understands me and feels me, that's all that matters. Miracle Expectations. Track 15. If you want to listen to all of the tracks that I have, 17 for Disc 3 Evolution, head on over to X, formerly known as Twitter, and you get all 17 tracks of Disc 3 Evolution. And like I said, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out here, checking with me, hanging out there with me tonight. Think some positive, wonderful, beautiful, amazing things in your life, because listen, if you don't, who else is going to? Can't expect nobody else to do anything for you. You have to get up and you got to do it for yourself. You have to take responsibility for your own life. And that's one of the See, I'm going to go in again. That's one of the main things that was always a downfall for me, because I am such a giver. I am an empath. And when you are like that, that doesn't mean that everything's going to work wonders for us. Sometimes people take advantage of people like that. And then I always was sitting here saying, when's going to be my breakthrough? When is, speaking of the breakthrough, when is it going to be my year? When is it going to be the time that somebody does something for Laren? Because I'm always digging in my pocket. I'm always, this is the old me, always doing something for somebody else, always trying to uplift and teach somebody to live in the world that I'm living in, which we know that doesn't work. And then they would do it for a little bit, or they hang out for a little bit, or they chill for a little bit. And then the minute that they turn around and give you, their butt to kiss, now you somewhere, feeling a certain way. And then that's when I would just throw everything out the window and I would really live in a lower world, because I'm showing up, showing you who I am. And I spoke to y'all before about when you have to show people who you are. When you know who you are, you don't have to show anybody who you are. But anyway, we got to get SelfMade EST in here tonight. So we're going to go ahead and move on here. So I'm going to speak to y'all about something that Marla Gibbs wrote. Y'all remember Marla Gibbs from The Jeffersons and 227? I used to love 227. I really did. Marla Gibbs says, I truly believe that everything that we do and everyone that we meet is put in our paths for a purpose. There are no accidents. We're all teachers. And if we're willing to pay attention to the lessons we learn, trust our positive instincts, and not be afraid to take risks or wait for some miracle to come knocking at our door. I'll go ahead and read that again, and I'll break it down too. I truly believe that everything that we do and everyone that we meet is put in our paths for a purpose. There are no accidents. We're all teachers. If we're willing to pay attention to the lessons we learn, trust our positive instincts, and not be afraid to take risks or wait for some miracle to come knocking at our door. So I'm going to break it down in a different way. So she says that I truly believe that everything that we do and everyone that we meet is put in our paths for a purpose. And that is absolutely true. The sitting here listening to the 411 podcast right now, interacting with the 411 podcast right now, there's a purpose behind that. Have no idea. May not have any idea what it is now here today, but trust and believe when you look back years from now, you're going to be like, I remember that. I remember that message. I remember that story. I remember interacting. So that's that. There are no accidents. Just like I had someone tell me during the pandemic, every single thing that you are going through at this moment, Laren, there are no coincidences. Trust and believe that you got married. Trust and believe that you got divorced. Trust and believe that you have 2 kids. Trust and believe the situation that you're in and what we're going through right now, going back and forth. There are no coincidences. You met your spouse for a reason, and they showed up to teach you a lesson. So for those of you who go back and forth, oh, my ex did this to me. Oh, my cousin did this to me. Oh, my ex boss did that to me. It was designed and set up on purpose. And one of the most profound things out of this quote here, I love this. There are no accidents. We are all teachers. So when someone shows up and disrespects you and treats you a certain way or acts a certain way, that's not an accident. They have showed up to teach you something. And yet you will not learn your lesson. You will have to repeat it over and over again if you don't learn your lesson. So if someone shows up and treats you a certain way, how you respond and how you react to it is whether you get to go to the next level and get to go to the next grade. And I am a firm believer of that, because when someone showed up and they showed me who they are, I did not believe them. First of all, I didn't believe in myself, because the next thing I was had to do was to fire back at them, show them who I am. You think that you disrespecting me? Oh, you think that you're going to talk to me that way? That's how I used to act. And because I act that way, all I was doing was spinning my wheels. All I was doing was being held back. Never able to excel to the next level. Never able to get to the next grade level. Never able to clear that board because my reaction was horrible. Sometimes I would speak to people just like I'm speaking to you all now, giving you some knowledge and speaking in a very nice, pleasant, respectful way. The message was always clear with me. I'm not going to come out here saying something disrespectful, something that doesn't make sense, something that's not going to uplift, something that's not going to help someone get to the next level. But when I was having interactions with friends or having intimate interactions with, significant others, my delivery was horrible. Message was always clear, but the delivery was horrible. How I gave it to you, how I responded, how I reacted was horrible. And because of that, it was this continuous round and round merry-go-round. We can take it back like Guy. Y'all remember Guy? Guy had a song called Merry Go Round, and that's basically what it was. Mary J. Blige has a song called Round and Round. And basically, that's all it was, just going round and round and round over and over again, doing the same ridiculous nonsense time and time again. Marla Gibbs say, but if we're willing to pay attention to the lessons we learn, if we're willing to pay attention when people show up in our lives, if we're willing to pay attention when crisis strikes, if we're willing to sit back and say, okay, listen, what is it that I'm supposed to learn in this situation here today? See, we react too much. We speak too much. We say too much. We do too much in a moment. And then now we're picking up the pieces afterwards. I don't know if anybody out there have experienced anything like that, that the minute that something goes off, the minute that something pops off, you have to be the first person to say something. You have to be the first person to jump in. Doesn't work that way. I mean, you can go ahead and try it. I mean, I've done it for years. I'm just giving you some advice. You can take it. You can hate it or love it. Shout out to the queen of hip hop soul, the breakthrough. Hate it or love it. It is what it is. But you can do what you want to do with it, because guess what? That's your world. Can't nobody tell you about what to do in your own world. And I think it's best that way. I think it's best for people to stay stuck in quicksand. I think it's best for people to go through those merry-go-round phases. I think it's best because so many people are like, yo, Laren, that's not how you should be living. You shouldn't be speaking to this person that way. You shouldn't be doing that. And I wasn't listening to that. You couldn't tell me nothing. Shout out to Kanye West for that. You couldn't tell me nothing at all. I was doing my own thing. But because I got sick and tired of myself, I got sick and tired of being in a quicksand, I got sick and tired of, going round and round and round. So that's why I say sometimes you have to love people from a distance and let people do what they want to do. And listen, let them live in their own world. Let them do their thing. Because if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And when they're ready to wake up, they gonna wake up. And some people are not put on this planet to wake up. They have not been put in our worlds to wake up. They've been put here to teach us a lesson and keep it moving, and that's about it. And that's exactly what it is. And here's the last thing before I get out of here, because I know we got to go ahead and get SelfMade EST on here. She says, or wait for some miracle to come knocking at the door. Now, I'm not sure because I hadn't had an opportunity to speak to her when she wrote this here. But you got to be very careful about waiting for some miracle to show up. Yes, you have to wait because it just doesn't happen like that. But I had to learn this lesson here too, and still learning this, is that during that waiting process, you better be working. You better be working, and you better be praying, and you better be moving towards something. Ain't nobody going to hand you and give you anything. And y'all know what the saying is, faith without works is dead. So you have to continuously work and continuously move. And like I said, I am a true, straight up, blown out experience of that. And that is the 4-in-1 podcast, because this show and this whole experience and this whole vibe has definitely grown into something way bigger than what I can have ever imagined from when I first thought about it in 2019. It went from, oh, I just want a podcast. I want a podcast. I want to be able to share my story. And that's what it was in my mind. And I was with the wrong crowd and with the wrong people. And all I kept saying is, oh, I just want a podcast. Oh, I just want to be a podcaster. And that's all I kept saying. And then the people that around me just kept saying, yeah, whatever it is, what it is. You know how people are, if they're not doing anything, they expect you not to do anything too. So anyway, just be very careful about waiting for some surprise miracle to show up. You have to continuously think about it. You have to continuously put in the works. And like I said, pray and keep knocking and keep knocking and keep knocking. And I'm still knocking until that next level, until that next opportunity. Shout out to the queen of hip hop soul, until that next breakthrough comes through. Yeah. Track 15, Miracle Expectations. My life changed so much once I started to think positive things into my world and speak about the things that I deserve. Yeah. And you all deserve it too. Amari says you deserve the love and support, brother. I appreciate everything you're doing. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you out there for hanging out there with me because, like I said, there were times when there was nobody out here, not one person, not one person. But I just continued to keep hustling. I continued to keep flowing because I had those miracle expectations. I know what I envision. And even what I see here now, I'm thankful for all of this, but we just getting started. And again, I could not do any of this without each and every one of you out there. So now, as I go ahead and rewind this thing, I want y'all to go ahead and check out the podcast from last night. I had my brother, Jacquees Washington, come in. He's from Texas. He's a certified personal trainer, lifestyle coach, and he's evolved too. And I spoke last night about, this is the evolution. This is, a phase of my life. Me finally getting it together. Me taking responsibility for my life. So many people were speaking things into my world, and I was still ignorant at the time. I was still ignorant in 2020. I was still ignorant in 21. Even just last year, I was a little ignorant as far as the people that I had around me, as far as the recklessness that was coming out of my mouth. So I'm obviously have evolved and on a different shift. But what a wonderful thing is when you can take people with you, or people are, excuse me, let me take that back. Because, we can't take everybody with us, but when you're on the same level as somebody, put it that way. Real rough because, you can have a good friend. It could even be a family member that y'all were like this. But because somebody decided to change and make a shift and start to think some miracle expectations over their life, just like that, y'all may not be gelling. Y'all may not be 100%. So when I have people like Jacquees Washington that can come back on the 411 podcast and we just on the same level vibing, I think that's a beautiful thing. And on the flip side, there are so many people that will probably never come back on the show again. And it is what it is. You, like I said, you can't take everybody with you, and there's no hard feelings. But there's just people that have done things, and people who are in certain aspects of their world that I just will not work with in the future. So anyway, like I said, I'm happy to see the Jacquees Washington is continuously evolving in his world, doing things, helping people, uplifting people. He can get you together when it comes to the physical. He can help you with the mental. And, he spoke some things about nutrition too, which is good. So as we get ready to flow into the new year, for those of you who want to get it together, go ahead and check out that replay and check out my brother, Jacquees Washington. Now, the burning question that I had last night was, if there was an experimental, new vacation plan that came out, you can travel throughout the universe, you can meet different, I guess, extraterrestrial beings, intelligent life. Is that something that you would sign up for? So this is an experimental, meaning that this is like the first time that something like this is occurring. Would you sign up for that? Again, go ahead and check out that replay. Check it out. Let me know what's going on and how you feel about that. And without further interruption, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our special guest tonight, SelfMade EST.
Yo.
What's going on? What's going on? How are you?
Man, I'm doing all right. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome into the 411 podcast. I will have to tell you that I apologize for the delay. Just going in.
It's all good.
So,
Yeah, I
if
understand.
if you can go ahead and let us know where you are calling from, because we gotta uh, play catch up here. So, SelfMade EST. Please let everybody know where you are calling from.
I'm coming from Shelby, Mississippi.
Okay. Okay. And how is the weather in your neck of the woods?
The weather is about 50. Sometimes it drops down to
What?
about 30 something, but it's been up and down right now. Like the other day, the weekend it was about 65, and right now it's pretty cold, so it's like up and down.
Yeah, nah. I don't know why it's like that. How long is it going to be like that?
Well, around here in Mississippi, man, you just never know. You may get a day that may be 80 degrees. Tomorrow it may be 50.
Nah,
The
I
next day
can't.
it may be 30. It may be raining. It may be sunny. So it's like it's ups and downs.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. I can't live like that. That's craziness. But all right. I mean, I guess the only time you visit that place is in the summertime for real.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm a
That's
person.
pretty much like the only time.
Yeah, I'm a person who likes the hot weather. Like I don't mind visiting Palm Springs, Arizona, Vegas when it's like 120 degrees.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's my weather right there. Just so that you know where I'm coming from. So that's
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely dig, man. I dig.
what's up. So all right. So recording artists, you have a lot going on. You've done some amazing interviews. You're charting. You even have some international love going on. Shout out to all of the international love that we have. TikTok, I appreciate y'all. That's where my international love comes from. So, how, speaking of international love, how it came about for you to come to the 411 podcast is through a mutual friend, which is Danny Lopez. Shout out to Danny, who's in Belgium. So,
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
how did you end up coming across Danny Lopez?
I ended up coming across Danny Lopez with I ended up getting love in Vegas, and I ran across Tyrese's brother, Tyrese Gibson, the singer, R&B singer, brother, which is an artist as well, Tyrone Gibson. I ran across him, and me and him kind of connect real close, man. Like we was calling each other every other day, and he hooked me up with a lot of people in Vegas. I got radio playing Vegas, California, and he ended up connecting me with Danny, and me and Danny connected this real close relationship as well. And it actually led to I ended up doing some music with some of the artists over there, like Maja and all of them guys in Belgium. Danny ended up connecting me with a lot of people, man. Oh, even over here in the States, like in the United States, he connected me. He plugged me with a lot of people, even with you. You know, he connected me with you. Danny just always knew that I was just basically about business, and it was just like, you know, he hit me up, yo, self-made, what you got going on? I got this going on. Hey, man, I want you to connect with these guys. They're good guys. These guys want to do music with you. So I ended up connecting with Danny through Tyrese's brother, which is Tyrone Gibson. And, man, we've been brothers for ever since then.
That's what's up.
Ever since then.
Shout out to Danny. He definitely is. He's a real one. Like he would reach out and just say, "Yo, just checking on you, see how things are going." So yeah, that's what's up. And Tyrone, he was supposed to come on a 4-1, but his manager kind of messed something up with the timing. So yeah, they owe me one. Both of them, him and his manager. But that's what's up.
Yeah. Tyrone always busy too, man. Yeah.
Do you ever try to be like, yo, can I talk to your brother? You don't try to get close to Tyrese.
One time it was back here, but the coronavirus hit, man. I was supposed to go to Vegas because I had a lot of shows going on, and at that time I think Tyrone ended up getting sick or something, man, and they had closed Vegas down at that time. I was supposed to be doing. He had me lined up with a lot of shows. Me and Tyrone. But I was around him a couple of times. He was on the phone with him, and he was around Tyrese, and he was just like, "Yo, man, my brother said what's up." I'm like, "Tell him I said what's up." He was like, "Yo, this SelfMade." He was talking to Tyrese or whatever. But I was supposed to be meeting, but the coronavirus happened, so that opportunity is. I know it's gonna present itself again, but that's what happened.
Okay, that's what's up. All right. So I got so much. I love when artists come in. It's just like a little kid in a candy store. So many different. And the only reason why, not only reason why, but I love music. I am a musician, and I respect what it takes to do what you do. And I respect people who are in it for the long haul, end up showing up year after year after year, album after album after album, single after single, or music video after music video. Because anybody can just say, okay, I'm going to the studio and I'm gonna make a, single or whatever I'm gonna put this out, whether it's good quality or not. But to continuously build your brand, make a name for yourself. I love your name, to beginning, self-made. It's enough right there. I love that. That's that indie artist that struggle, that thrive, that strive that it takes to make it in this thing, because it ain't easy. So
for sure.
At what point of your life did you know that this is something that you wanted to do?
I started when I was younger, but I really wasn't rapping. I just used to write poetry because I was like a shy kid or whatever. So whatever I wanted to say to people, I would just write it down on paper. But I had a lot of obstacles going on throughout my life where I could never give it my best because of the hardships or whatever took place in my life that threw me to another perspective of music. So I was like on and off music from like 15 to about 27.
Okay.
And 27, I picked back up and I slowed back down again, but I was always writing and still trying to put out material. But I knew about 4 years ago, and that's what made me change my name, because I was going by just self-made. And when I got to a point in my life where I said, you know what, this is like chosen for me. And I've been through enough to not get sidetracked again. So if I get sidetracked, I know how to just stick to what I do best, and that's music. And ever since I did that, I changed my name. I'm like, no, I need to go to SelfMade EST, because I'm no longer here and there in my life no more, no matter the obstacles. So that's about 4 years ago. That's when I knew for sure, like, I'm going at it full force. Whatever obstacle take place in my life, this is where I'm gonna start at SelfMade EST, and I'm gonna stay SelfMade EST, because now I'm established. You know what I'm saying? I've established myself.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Young Amari says, like Nipsey once said, being self-made tastes better.
Yeah, it does, man. But it's real hard when you're doing it, because it's like I never wanted to live up to the name, but it's like once you have that drive and you no longer, for yourself, you like, it has to work regardless of who coming along, who behind me, who gonna put it to me. This has to work. So that's what it's like at some point you have to live up to your name, and you don't even know that you be living up to your name. It's just that that I gotta do this regardless of what. If I don't do it, it won't get done. And that's how I mean, that's just how it's been for like 4.5 years. It's just like, if I don't do it, if I don't put in the hard work, the dedication, the build the communications, build a relationship in this music business, connect with the right people, talk, you know what I'm saying, and go see who doing shows or whatever, it'll never get done. So that's when I knew at that point, I'm like, it has to work.
That's what I talked about earlier. Faith without works is dead. So, sitting around waiting for, a miracle to happen, sitting around waiting for somebody to do something for you, it don't work that way. Now,
no.
We have to think positive because obviously, what's the alternative to not thinking positive? And then, as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you thinking negative and you thinking terrible, pessimistic situations all the time, that's exactly what's going to show up in your world. So while you sitting here waiting for that miracle, you have to be working at it. Like you said, you have to be thinking positive. You have to show up. You have to network. You have to ask questions. You have to show the powers that be, show the universe, show God that listen, I'm doing it. Show me whatever you need to show me. Take me wherever you need to take me. I'm moving towards it. I'm going towards it. I'm showing you that I'm being the best student that I possibly can be in this moment. And that,
oh yeah, most definitely, you're right.
That's when it all starts to click. Yeah. And I'm not even going to get into all of that. That's what took us so long to get on here tonight for me to call you, because I was speaking about these miracles. Like I said, the 4-in-1 podcast, is a miracle because this is something that I thought of in my mind, and here it is showing up in reality. So, and wonderful guests like you, wonderful people out there that continuously come through, and it's like a form of a confirmation when it makes sense. Because this show was written way before you even signed up, so I already knew exactly what I was going to speak about, and then you just mysteriously got placed on this day, and the conversation that we're having flowing like this was just so meant to be, and that's because it was. Like I spoke.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I spoke earlier today. There are no coincidences. There are no accidents. So we here, and we have SelfMade EST all the way from Mississippi, but that's not where he stops because, like I said, you've had international love from Belgium. You spoke to me about Vegas. Now speak to me about this thing going on in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, I ended up connecting with someone else. His name is Michael Colton. And it was so crazy because when I was in the midst of doing my album, which I dropped last year, called 1-on-1, he pretty much kind of like called me. He was like, "Hey man, he's like, can you do a Afrobeat track?" I said, I've always been a confident type person. It may come off as arrogant, but I just believe in confidence. So, make a long story short, he said, "I want to test your skills." I said, "Well, you picked the right person to test your skills." He said, "Man, I like it because you're so confident. You're so confident." He said, "You don't have a doubt in your mind?" I said, "I don't have a doubt in my mind about nothing because God has shown me confirmation. God has shown me that if I don't believe in myself, it starts with me. I have to see the vision in order for someone else to see the vision."
What?
And
yeah.
So, man, he sent me the track. So we did the paperwork. He did the copyrights. He did everything. And I sent it to him because he sent me the track. And, man, I finished it within like 30 minutes. Mixed it, mastered it, sent it to him. And he was on the phone like, "Man, this is nice." He just excited. And he said, "You're not excited?" I said, "I'm very excited." I said, "Man, when I make music, I get in the studio, I pray, I set my mood. I like a certain mood. You know what I'm saying? I like a certain vibe. when I'm in the studio. And I said, when I was doing it, I said, I brainstormed. He was like, oh, man, it's going to work. So, make a long story short, he said, I'm going to send it to send it to one of the DJs over here in the Virgin Islands. How about that? I'm like, man, that's cool. I said, do whatever you got to do, man. I'm here. You just let me know what I got to do. So, he sent it.
Mm-hmm.
He sent it to us. So, the DJ was like, yo, whoever this artist is, he was like, man, who is he? So, he told him, he sent my bio, sent my link. And we would just send the track. Man, that track went from like number 20, then it went to like number 19, then it went from 19 to like number 3, from number 3 to like number 2, and it stayed at number 1 for like 3 months.
That's what's up. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. It stayed, and that was my first time doing an Afro type music, that type of music. But I mean, it was just only a blessing, like I said. And man, since then it's just been a lot of more stuff. Man, it's just been great. I end up with that track. I end up doing a fashion show in Houston, Texas. I performed that song like 3 times. They kept wanting me to come up there, so I got picked for the fashion show in Houston, Texas.
That's what's up.
Off of that track. Yep.
What's going on, author Birdman? Thank you so much for joining. So now, I have this question here. As far as your sole purpose, your hustle, do you have multiple different things going on, or are you just focusing on one thing? As far as your everyday hustle, some people believe in multiple streams of income, multiple different jobs. What do you have going on?
My day-to-day, man, it basically consists of a lot. I cut hair. I do mechanic work. I drive a semi every day. I have my own clothing line, which is Picture Perfect.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
I just recently, I've been going to school for the past year and a half. I done got 4 trades: carpentry, electrician, plumbing, and construction. And I'm just the type of person, man, all my life, I just always been about, you could never have too much because you never know in life where you may fall. If this don't work, then you can get into this. So I never wanted to limit myself, because like I said, it was a point in my life where I would go somewhere and they like, nah, you don't have the credentials, or nah, so I'm like, you know what? I want to be to the point where if I go to a job, I got a little bit of everything. Even with the music, I treat music like a job, even though it's not so much of a hobby to me. It's a skill and it's a job. So I take that job as, I take it as serious. So I have so much going on, man. And I get a lot of fun out of it, and a lot of people that ask me, how do you do all of this? I said, man, if you was ever put in a place in your life where you had to depend on nobody but you, then you will understand why I have to do so much, because like I said, in the times that we living in now, and I ain't trying to preach, man, you just never know where you may have to end up, What if somebody say, hey, I just need somebody to come in and just arrange a track. Okay, I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? So they may not just want, all type of stuff, man.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some good advice there. Now, what advice do you have for the young up-and-coming artist who is looking at the way that the rap game is today, looking at the lifestyle that is portrayed on social media? What advice do you have for somebody looking to get into the game? Let's just say someone who's in like middle school or high school. They're going to come out and they know exactly what they want to do. They might even contemplate dropping out to go pursue, this career. What advice do you have when their mentors and people that they look up to is the majority of the rap game on social media?
I would first tell them, be yourself. Learn the business first before you even want to put out music. Learn the business first. Learn the business side of it. However you start out as an artist, that's how people look at you. So if you start out as this, I wouldn't say bad artist, but if you start out making a certain type of music, then that's what people look for. So you can't limit yourself in this music. It's just like, you want to be on a, just saying for instance, you want to be on an R&B track. You want to be on a reggae track. You want to be on all different type of genres of music, because when I first came out, I was just stuck on one type of music, and that was just like trap music, you know what I'm saying? But I had someone, like, I was listening to a podcast like yours, and a guy said, why limit yourself when you can, it's, it's like a merry-go-round. Why limit yourself when you can go around and eat all different type of ways? So I tell them, this is not fantasy. It's reality. So getting in this thinking that it's sweet, getting in this thinking that you're going to blow up overnight. Some people do. Some people don't. But you have to put in the hard work and dedication, and you got to know that it's going to work for you. No matter who around you, you have some people that may be around you that's influence you to do this, to do that, but you got to think about the longevity. Don't get in the game thinking that you're going to sell 1 million records for your whole career. It's not. It's going to be ups and downs. You may come out, and nothing may happen. 5 years later, you may blow up. So I would tell them, don't quit. Stay consistent at being positive when you an up-and-coming artist. You got to have a plan. You just can't hop out here head first, because I had a vision, but I didn't have a plan. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, I had the great music, but I didn't have the vision, and I didn't have the people around me to tell me, hey, this is this, because they were afraid, just like I was afraid, thinking that it wasn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and I listened to Jay-Z when he said this. He said a lot of people will force their fears on you. If something didn't work for them,
absolutely,
they may tell you that it's not going to work for you. So you can't let other people project their fears on you.
Absolutely. You got to be very careful with that. That's why I say we live in our own worlds. And whatever you got going on in your world is what you have going on. And don't start to collide and mix them, because once you do that, then it's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hopefully this interview is serving you justice here tonight. Young Amari says true words spoken. Jay spoke facts. Yeah, he definitely is. One thing that you said is you have to learn the business. And I think that's with anything that you do. Before you step in, just like you said, before you think that you're going to blow up, before you think you're going to be this or you're going to be that, you have to, first of all, know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And some people, once they get themselves into it, they can't get themselves out, or they get themselves into it and they be asking themselves, what the hell did I get in? What is this? I spoke about that too with the different attachments that we put on when it comes to people, places, and materialistic things. But that's neither here nor there tonight. So, but thank you so much for coming through. I'm not done yet, because I always ask this burning question. So for those of you out there listening tonight, if you have a burning question, or if you want to go ahead and, leave a response, add some feedback about tonight's show, text me at 609-738-0611. Again, that number is 609-738-0611. That is the official 411 podcast hotline. Now, the burning question that I have for my special guest tonight, we have SelfMade EST in the building. And the burning question is, if you could rewrite something from your past to change the course of your life, what would it be now that you know what you know today? And I'll go ahead and, rewind that again for you. If you could rewrite something from your past to change the course of your life, what would it be now that you know what you know today?
I would have changed my decision making. And what I mean by changing my decision making, sometimes me, myself, and other people, I'm just going to mainly speak for myself. We can make decisions out of emotions. And that's the worst decision you can ever make, because making decisions out of yourself, making decisions out of emotions, the emotions, you you kind of tie it to the way you feel at the moment. And a lot of times I made decisions out of my emotions at that moment. So it wasn't the right decision, and I could have made better decisions. So that led me to a lot of I may take one step forward and now I'm taking 20 steps backwards because I made a decision out of my feelings and out of anger, out of ego, just the emotional wreck, and stuff like that. And man, if I can go back, I would have done everything that I'm doing now different. I probably could have been farther, but history rewrites itself in a positive way for me because I learned a lot from the decisions that I made, but I feel like I could have made better decisions. So now I can tell someone else, hey, you may not want to make that decision, whether I came out on top, whether you come out on top. You just always want to be like a sponge. I should have been a sponge, just soaked up all the information that I could at some point in my life. Based on, we as people, sometimes we can get in our ego and people can take us places that we probably wouldn't have never went. So if I could do that, I would change a lot of my decision making based off emotions,
Wow.
I would have definitely changed that.
Wow. You know what? It is so profound that you spoke the way you spoke tonight. Like I said, you were definitely made for the show because I spoke about, once we are in the thick of it, I'm just, throwing the Mary hits out tonight. Once we're in the thick of it, once we're in the crisis, right? Sometimes we just don't need to react the way we do. Sometimes we need to sit back. Sometimes we need to be like, okay, listen, I know that this is a messed up situation right now, but what am I supposed to learn from it? So listen, I was just like you. Whenever something didn't go right, I ain't even think twice. I was automatically right off the rip.
Yeah, you just act out.
What? Getting ready to
It's like a lighter,
right.
A lighter, just like
right.
You don't think before you speak. And I can also say this, not to cut you off. A lot of times we try to live up to others' expectations, and we may say we not, but at the end of the day, if people knew how to make you act a certain way at one point of your life because maybe they got comfortable with it, and you have some people, they would do things that they know would trigger you. So once you grow,
let's not
like
even.
I said, stop operating.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So, but see, this is the thing. This is what's so.
They know what you're gonna do.
This is what's so dope, and this is what's so. Once you learn how to flip it, because see, they already know you're gonna react a certain way. They already know you're gonna cut up. See, this is how I changed my life because they knew what Laren was getting ready to do. They knew he was getting ready to blow up. They knew he was gonna do this and do that and do that, all that stuff. But then I was like, okay, I got you. And all of a sudden, once I started to get real quiet, see, once you start to get with self, because everything starts with self. Once I got real quiet, that messed them up more than me starting to run off at the mouth and give them the business.
Yeah, it do, man. It do, because they don't know what to expect,
I had grown people stuttering and can't even speak properly, and I ain't even have to open my mouth. Craziness.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Listen, everything starts with self. Shout out to my mentor from the Bronx, New York. Thank you for coming into my life and teaching me the beautiful things that you did. Because listen, and first of all, I want to give a very special thank you for coming through tonight. I had no idea that the floodgates would open with so much wisdom, so much knowledge here tonight, so much love, so much respect, especially, with the hip hop. Thank you so much for young Amari for hanging out there too. He definitely appreciated, your conversation as well tonight. Amazing conversation.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely, man. Shout out to him as well for tuning in. Yeah.
SOS, the Burning Sky. Thank you so much for being out there tonight. And yeah, I definitely would love to have you come back on in the future.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Now,
Most definitely.
I'm going to just say stay safe out there because your weather apparently ain't no better than mine.
Yeah, I used to live in upstate Syracuse, New York, and stuff around in a lot of upstate areas. So
Well, that's much
I know
better.
about the cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
much better than that because upstate ain't no joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming through. Take care. We're gonna be in touch. And if you talk to Danny before I do, tell him I said what's up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. I want to let people know where they can reach me at
Oh
as
yeah,
well,
yeah,
like
yeah.
as
You
far as
know,
on
my
social
bad.
media.
Yeah, go right ahead. Go right ahead. My bad.
Yeah. My IG is SelfMade _ EST. My Twitter is at SelfMade EST. Facebook, Kadera Wallace, stage name SelfMade EST. Pretty much all of my social media is just at SelfMade EST or SelfMade _ EST. My music is well on all platforms, SelfMade EST. So, if anybody want to reach me, they want to see what I got going on, SelfMade EST.
That's what's up. I got so amped up, so excited. I'm ready to get off without letting you do your part there. So I'm glad you were able to get
Oh
that
man.
done. All
Oh
right.
yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely.
All right. Take care. Be safe. I appreciate you.
Most definitely. You too, man.
All
God
right.
bless.
Same. Wow. What a journey that we went through tonight. I had no idea it was definitely going to be as big as it was tonight, but like I said, you never know what you're going to get when you come into the Form 1 podcast. So many different peaks and valleys that we go through here. And this is a prime example of it. And like I said, this show was written, you know, about a month before, he even got put in the slot. And it was like, you know, like I said, there are no accidents. Everything happens on purpose, and this is a prime example of exactly what I was speaking about when it comes to miracle expectations. You never know who you're going to come in contact with. You never know who you're going to interact with. And that's why at the end of the day, because we are all one and the same, we are all, God's children, one way or the other, whether you want to look at it that way or not. You have to be very careful with how you treat people. That's why sometimes when things happen, it's that reaction. It's how we respond to things. You know, like I said, this whole conversation can continue to go on and on and on and on, which we're not going to do that tonight because we got to get out of here. So if you enjoyed the conversation, thank you so much, Burning Sky. If you enjoyed the conversation that you heard tonight, you can keep this conversation going. You can head on over to LarenGaines.com and you can sign up for the burning. You can sign up for the coaching sessions, one-on-one private phone call conversations with me, without the cameras, without the audience, without all of that. Just one-on-one private coaching conversations. Head on over to LarenGaines.com and sign up for that. Now, if you would like to vacation with me, I'm not sure if you saw the flyers that I have out there, but there is a aspect of my business where I can help build your vacation. I can help build the perfect vacation itinerary that you're looking for and also have you save money as well. And you can vacation in a condominium lifestyle. So if you're used to or would like to, I'm not sure if you're used to it, but if you would like to have a home away from home, vacation, and have the same amenities that you have at home, such as a washer, dryer, you know, multiple bathrooms, dining room, full kitchen. Text me at 609-738-0611. Let me know exactly where you'd like to vacation, and I can tell you the rates, the availability, and let me know some of the things that you would like to do, and I can help build your perfect vacation itinerary. That's vacation with me. And if you want to start that, you can text me at 609-738-0611. Starts with just a simple text and a conversation and let me know where you like to vacation, and we can take it from there. So now, if you've hung around here for a while, you know that there's a whole bunch of stuff that we got going on here. We have the Form One podcast. I do reading between the wines. I just spoke to you about the coaching sessions. I just spoke to you about vacation with me. So many different things going on. So for you to stay up to date on all of the things that we have going on here at Black Diamond Productions, what you can do is head on over to LarenGaines.com and sign up for Whispers of Wisdom, which is my new newsletter that is coming out next month. And it's going to give you all small little bit pieces of everything that I have going on. A little bit of the 4-in-1, reading between the wines, vacation rates and availability. I'm going to give you the wine of the month. We're going to give you those wonderful inspirational quotes and all of that great stuff. Head on over to LarenGaines.com and sign up for Whispers of Wisdom. That is the new newsletter that's going to come out, and it will be delivered to your inbox once a month. Just one single email once a month. Shout out to everybody who has signed up already. Trust and believe. You definitely are going to appreciate what we got coming soon. Thank you so much to Instagram for showing up tonight. Thank you so much to TikTok. Thank you to my special guest, SelfMade EST. SOS, I seen you out there. I saw someone out there on X as well. Again, you can get the full Dis 3 Evolution audio version by heading over to X, that is formerly known as Twitter. All 17 tracks right there on X, on Twitter. And on that note, I want to say thank y'all so much. Now, tomorrow, we have freestyle sessions. So I know I was going in a little bit today. I was going in probably a little bit too much, but tomorrow we definitely gonna go in. So if you enjoyed the conversation that we had in the beginning of the show, trust and believe that tomorrow, oh, we definitely going in. The whole show we going in tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, 4-in-1 podcast. We definitely going in. Thank y'all so much. And on that note, y'all have a wonderful evening. Take care.